Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley and I own a small crochet business called Golden Cherry Blossom Crochet Co. And it's been a while. Life has been laughing, guys. I'm gonna be honest. If you hear scratching, my cat, one of them, is scratching on a chair just across the room. So, gosh, I don't even remember when I filmed my last video. Of course they want to come in here when I start filming. Anyway, it's been a while since I've made a video. I have just been incredibly busy with teaching and just other things, family stuff. My Nana's been real sick, things like that. So I have been market prepping. I had 3 markets that I did not vlog. Sorry. I had a 2-day festival, the local farmers market, and then a 1-day festival in my hometown. And all 3 of those combined, I made right at $900, which was nice. The first festival, it was really hot the first day. It was kind of just sweltering. And then the second day, it was overcast. It wasn't as hot, which was nice. But yeah. I should have vlogged all of those, but I've actually been quite sick. I've had the flu. I've had flu B twice this year already, and it's June. What is up with that? I don't know. I think it's part of it is just my immune system is so weakened right now because I'm just so stressed. I'm stressed about work. I'm stressed about my family. I'm stressed about everything, right? And it's been a lot. Not to like trauma dump. Not to, not trauma dump, but TMI, I guess. Anyway, so I had the flu. It was the last week of school. I had the flu for the second time. And then, so my school let out on the 22nd, and then I had 2 work days the next week, and then the weekend of the last week of May was my first festival. So, I really just didn't feel like filming. I had a cough. I had a cough probably for like a week or so after the flu. So I didn't feel like filming. I didn't feel like doing anything. So what I can tell you is that my bestseller, hands down, all across the board, my bestseller, possums. From the 3 markets I had, I sold 17 possums total. I had market prepped 50 over the winter. That was my goal because I felt like last year I was just trying to keep my head above water because anytime I put a possum out on the table, it would sell. So I did that, and I am working on restocking those, basically. I wanted to tell you all this story. There was a guy at my last market, the 1-day market. It was like 5 hours. Sorry, something's in my eye. It was like 5 hours long. There was one guy who came to my booth, and he was asking me, he said, "Is this all handmade, or do you ship it in?" And to be quite honest, I tried not to take offense to it, but I wanted to. And I was very firm with him that because my friend also sets up with me, I was very firm with him that we are not drop shippers. Number one, I hardly even use cotton yarn. Okay. I don't even make flowers. I did flowers for a commission one time, and that has been it. I don't believe in the way drop shippers run business, because, well, specifically like the crochet drop shippers and stuff, because for those of you who don't know, crochet cannot be replicated by machine. So knit can. So if you see like sweaters and stuff in the store that are knit, those are made by machine. Anything now, there is knit that tries to mimic crochet, but it's not actually crochet. And those of you who can crochet can know the difference. But the people who make those items that people resell, the people who actually make that are getting pennies to the dollar. Probably not even pennies. They're working in a sweatshop somewhere. And this is like, okay, maybe it's not what people would qualify as intensive labor, but it's hard on your hands. You have to have a skill set to be able, and dexterity in your hands to be able to crochet well. I don't believe in reselling handmade items for profit. Like, as in like a drop shipper. Okay? You know, I get that people want to make money and like have a side hustle or a hobby or whatever, but when you're doing it unethically, that's an issue. So anyway, the long story short, I tried to make it a teachable moment for that guy. And I say this is like, he wasn't a customer. Okay. It wasn't like that. It struck me as insensitive and like, you don't care about your vendors. And yeah. And it just goes to show how little people who don't crochet or don't know anyone who does or any of that, it just goes to show you how little people respect and value the arts. Okay, I'm going to get on my soapbox. I'm going to actually readjust my ring light because I have a double chin. It just goes to show, and then with AI, it's a whole thing. I signed up for a fall festival that I did last year. I signed up for early this year, and I was sent an AI image to promote. I created my own image in less than 10 minutes on Canva. Like, okay, I'm not going to get on my soapbox, and I'm probably going to edit most of that out. And I have something in my eyeball. Okay, anyway, I want to show you all, or I want to actually talk. Well, I want to show you all what I've made recently. So I've been restocking possums. I'm not going to show you all those because I have not finished them yet. I've been trying to batch make them, and then I'm going to put the ears and the tails on all at once. I think I have like 12 right now, so I need only like 5 more. So not bad. So anyway, today is June 16th, I think. Sure. It's summer break. I don't know what day it is. I wanted to show you all this guy. I actually have a smaller one in my inventory right now, but I wanted to make a larger one. This one is a Highland cow, a standing Highland cow. He's too big for the frame. I'm too close to the camera because I don't want you all to see my dirty craft room. I've got to, well, it's not dirty. It's just really disorganized, and I don't want you all to see the rest of it. So you're seeing my yarn wall. Anyway, he is a cute little cow. This is from, I think I sewed his muzzle on a little crooked. It's all right. It's fine. He's got a little wabi sabi. Well, his nostrils I could redo. Okay, anyway, this is a free pattern. This is a YouTube tutorial by Keep Calm and Crochet. Okay, and everything is her tutorial except the bang. Okay. Since he is a Highland cow, I wanted to give him a fringe. And what I did, I just went in and made a slip stitch and then chained up 10 and then went into the next stitch, slip stitched there, chain 10 again, so on and so forth across his forehead. That's just everything else, like the horns, the ears, everything else is Keep Calm and Crochet's pattern. He's got a flat butt. That makes me think of that Bad Bunny and Pedro Pascal SNL skit. Anyway, he's pretty cute. He is made with Parfait plush and a 6mm hook. His eyes are 16mm. He's very cute. The first one I ever made of him, I made with Parfait Chunky. So the one I have in inventory right now is Parfait Chunky. The first one I ever made of him, I had a one-day fall festival at the end of October last year. And I was finishing him up. Like, I was sewing on his horns and putting on his bang. And I had him on my lap. I had people in my booth. I couldn't, put him on the table yet. I had somebody walk into my booth, see him on my lap, ask if he's for sale. I say yes. They say, oh, how much? I panic and I say $30. Because, he's smaller than this one. And they bought him immediately. He didn't even make it to the table. So I made a duplicate one. He's not sold yet. He got a lot of attention at my markets, but he's not sold yet. And then I decided to make this guy because everybody loves a Highland cow. Okay, put him over here. Okay, this one I finished yesterday morning, day before yesterday. Either Friday or Saturday morning, I finished him. This is a little Nessie. Oh, he's got a little fuzz. This is from Nooks Hooks crochet pattern. I made one, so as if you can see his little flipper Loch Monster feet. Are a little bit darker than the rest of his body because I used a skein of Bernat Blanket Perfect Phasing, I believe it is. Oh, he's so cute. I made one and it sold at my market at the end of May. I listed him for $30 or $35, and he sold. This one, I decided on the green eyes. These eyes are just the kawaii eyes from Amazon, the sinker eyes with the pupil crossing, and I didn't paint the eyes. These are just the glitter discs that came with it, and I thought green might go well. It kind of pops in the light, in the ring light. But anyway, so I made the first one with the same skein of Bernat Blanket Perfect Phasing, and then I used up the rest of the skein to make this guy. So now I know that one of those cakes, they're like in a cake instead of a skein, I guess. I don't know. I have some all the way at the top, and I'm not getting it down because all the yarn will fall down. But one skein or cake or whatever can make 2 Nessies. Again, I use a 6mm hook. I use a 6mm hook across the board with Bernat Blanket and Parfait Plush. I use a 4mm hook with Parfait Chunky most of the time. And then I embroidered a little smile on him. He's supposed to kind of have like a straight mouth, but the way I did it, I really didn't like it, so I just gave him a smile. Overall, he's pretty cute. And I think for my next market, which is at the end of July, I think for the next one, I'm going to have a section on my table that is like, not cryptids, but sort of, I guess. Like, I'm going to have Nessie. I want to have a Mothman, like a unicorn, mythical creatures. There we go. I want a section on my table for mythical creatures because I think they would go really well. I'm close to West Virginia where I live, so I do think there is a market for the Mothman, if I can make some. So the next one, yeah, okay, I said for the Nessie, it's Nooks Hooks. Cosmo scratching again, sorry. This one is a booty turtle. Okay. He is a free pattern on Instagram. I will remember to link all of these. But you can remove his shell, and when you do, you turn him around and he's got a butt. I don't know if you can really see his butt the way the lighting is. There we go. You can see his little butt. I will say that at our first market, my friend who sets up with me, she made some booty frogs, and they were an absolute hit. However, we did get like 1 or 2 comments of like older people like, oh, why would you have a butt on that? But everybody else, like people our age, I'm a millennial for reference, people our age and younger absolutely loved it. But it was so funny because on her frog, we were sitting there and somebody had grabbed it and turned it around to look at its butt. And I watched them go from top to bottom. And I was like, okay. So that was really funny. But yeah, I really enjoyed this pattern. I am going to make him again because I think he's going to be a hit at my next market. Yeah. And then it just, his little shell, just, he's got bobble stitches for feet, and it just wraps around his little feet. Yeah. Cute. Okay. This one, I had made it a couple weeks ago and just never put it together. It is Loso. This is the Koala pattern from Crochet by Sammie. I love watching her channel. But she made this pattern, and I think you can buy it on her Etsy, but she also made a YouTube video. The only thing you do, sew on his ears. That's it. Everything else, like his little feet, are bobble stitches. His nose is a bobble stitch. And I think he's pretty cute. Okay, and then I have, let's see. Okay, so this pattern, I've made it several times, and I'm going to have to make it a lot more. A lot more, because every time I make this, I sell out. And maybe it's because I live in a rural area, or what. I don't know. But I didn't have any of these at my first two markets, but the one day market that I had, the evening market that was like 5 hours, I had 4 of these and I sold out. And it is a swinging possum. This is a pattern by the Crochet Zoologist. It is, I got it in a bundle, and it has the possum, it has a skunk, it has a shark, an alligator, a spider, a sugar glider, and maybe one other. I really can't remember. I've only made the shark and the possum so far. I probably need to make the skunk and alligator. I think those would go well. But he is, you make the head and body separately, so you have to sew the head onto the body, and then for the tail, you just insert your hook and chain up and then slip stitch back. On one of these, I did single crochet instead of slip stitch, and I don't know which one. For his little legs, you just insert your hook, chain, make sure your little branch is in there, and then make sure you weave in your ends and all that good stuff. I think I need to up the price on these because, yeah, they are small, and I do struggle with my pricing. Number one, because I do live in rural Appalachia. Number two, I'm trying to do better on timing myself. Especially once I've made a pattern a couple of times. So I'm like, oh, okay, this takes me, 45 minutes. I think, honestly, this takes me closer to an hour. I'm going to have to time myself next time. Because what I did, I made up a bunch of the bodies and then the heads, and then sewed them together. So I need to do one, top to bottom, and see how long it takes me. But I've been selling these for 10 because they are rather small. They are like the size of my hand. I think I can go up to 12 and they still be selling pretty well. But yeah, I had 4. They sold out. So I made up 6 of these. I think my goal is going to be 20 by the end of July. So I'm almost halfway there. So I have 6 of those. Okay, the next one. I will have to put the pattern designer right here because it is slipping my mind right now because it's like fluffy, stuffy, WYO. Fluff. It's something along those lines. It'll be right there. This next one is a Derpy Tiger. Okay. So I did modify this a little bit and made some. Sorry, I was getting a message. I did modify this a little bit. I made some color changes here around the eyes because around his eyes are a little bit lighter. So on this one, the pattern designer made felt eyes, and I really didn't like that. Number one, because I've actually not made felt eyes before. I actually have a big Derpy Tiger that needs felt eyes. I have felt like right over here. I haven't cut it out yet. I'm a little bit nervous to glue it on because I'm like, oh my god, if I glue it on crooked, there it is. Anyway, I modified for the color, the lighter color here around his eyes. This blue, this is in Parfait Chunky. I forgot to mention for my turtle, that was Parfait Chunky. For this blue, Parfait Chunky, I want to say I used a 5mm hook because that's what the pattern called for. I want to say this color is Rock Candy, and I think this is the perfect Derpy Tiger color. I also modified here because he also had like a felt smile, and I really didn't like it. So I just made him a little tongue, a little Derpy tongue. His eyes are just the glitter discs. Not sure what size I used. I think the pattern calls for 20mm, and I don't think these are. I think these are like 16 maybe. Can't remember if I also added these stripes here, if that was on the pattern. But he had, stripes down his back. Yeah. I just looked up a picture of the Derpy Tiger to go, and I was like, oh, I think I added these. And then his eyebrows, and yeah, I just embroidered all of that. I plan to sell him for $15. I think that's a good price because he is still rather small. He's probably about actually, I'm gonna do what Robin at Notting Hook Crochet does. She usually has a Diet Coke can. I don't drink out of the cans. I am a bottle person. This is a 16.9. I get the caffeine free because I'm like on a whole thing of I shouldn't drink that much caffeine. Anyway, this is a 16.9 ounce Coke and him for reference. So I'd say he's probably about the size of like a regular can of Coke. He's little, but with the embroidery and all of that, I think I could get by with $15 for sure. One thing I will tell you all, one thing that I did recently, well, this year at my markets, because I've only had 3 markets this year. I've not had anything so far until literally 2 weeks ago. I didn't make like the hang tags, like a price tag. What I did, I made more business cards, but I put the price, no, I put what the item is, the price, and how long it took to make. And I hole punched that with a small hole puncher, put a stitch marker in it, and actually, I'll show you here. I have an example. And it has been great because I got a lot of response at my markets that they're like, oh, that took so long to make. Like, we understand why it's priced like this. So this is what I made. I guess is it flipped around? It says caution may contain small parts, which may be a choking hazard. Supervise around small children. Because I feel like people are not reading my warning sign. So, like, everybody that buys something and they have, like, a smaller child, I make sure to tell them, hey, can be a choking hazard. Most people seem to not care. So, anyway, I have this, and then so it says item, toothless, price $45, time to make. I estimated around 4 hours for this one. Now, this one is a complete no-sew pattern. I feel like you really can't see him because I've got black yarn in the back. He's completely no-sew. All of his little ears and horns and legs and his wings are crocheted in, which is great. This pattern is from My Universe 64. It's a good pattern overall. I will say, I do think the pattern is very well written. I wish some details were a little bit more clear. So how to attach the wings. I think I actually attached his wings the wrong way. Too late now. But I think you're actually supposed to use this part of the wing to attach. And it's really not clear in the pattern. But now that I've made it a couple of times, it does make more sense. And then with his tail, I think his tail ended up a little bit wonky. But again, I've made it. Well, I made him and then I made Light Fury. I think it made more sense after I made Light Fury. Anyway, Bernat blanket, 6mm hook. The eyes are actually from another small crochet business, sort of local to me. My mom sells rhinestone jewelry, like Swarovski jewelry and all that stuff. And bless her, she can't make up her mind what she wants to do. Like for me, crochet. Okay, right. My mom, she's gotten into Swarovski, and then she's like, okay, I'll do like rhinestone that aren't Swarovski. And then now she's like, oh, I'm gonna make beaded jewelry. Great. It's a good hobby for her. But I'm like, okay, pick one and stay. Anyway, she had a market over in Tennessee, about an hour away, and these people, it's Stitch and Starlight. Stitch and Starlight Co? No. Stitch and Starlight Studio. That's what it is. They were over there, and I got to talk to them. Great. Loved them. Wonderful. I always like it when other crocheters are like really chatty and we just talk and, kiki, whatever. Anyway, they had painted safety eyes for sale. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to support because, okay, I'm the type of crocheter that, like, I want to support you. I will like and share your posts and do all that. But I'm not really usually going to buy something that I can make on my own. So if they have stuff like this, I will buy like the safety eyes or other things. Like at that market, there was another vendor who strictly made crochet hooks, bought a hook from her, stuff like that. Okay. But these safety eyes are hand painted by Stitch and Starlight. And when I found those in the bin, I was like, oh, these are perfect for a toothless. So I finally made the toothless. I will say on his little tail here, I had to use Parfait Chunky because I didn't have any Parfait Plush in this color. And I don't even know if Parfait Plush has this color. I feel like Parfait Plush is really limited right now on what colors you can make. Excuse me. Oh my God, I got choked. But I just used a 6mm hook with this. And it's okay. Not my favorite. But he's cute. He got a lot of attention at my last market because I didn't have him at the first two. But he got a lot of attention, but obviously he did not sell. So then I mentioned that I made the Light Fury, and I made her a few days ago. I actually hand painted these safety eyes. What I do, I use a paintbrush and I coat the back of the safety eye with, not Mod Podge, Gem Tack. Because I am a Gem Tack girly when I rhinestone stuff. Gem Tack. I don't use E6000 or whatever it is. Gem Tack all the way. And once that is coated, I actually on this, I don't know if you can really see. Oh, here you can in the light. The first layer of glitter, I used a more holographic glitter that is like a blue-purple shift. Blue-green shift, I guess. No, it's like blue-purple, and then the second layer is the blue-green. So I used two different types of glitter. I did a first layer, and then I let that dry a little bit, and then did another layer of Gem Tack and the blue. And I do think it turned out really pretty, especially like in the sunlight, like when the light catches it. I think it's really pretty. And then once everything is dry, once the Gem Tack dries, I go in on the back with a layer of acrylic paint to just seal everything up. And then when that dries, you can use the safety eyes. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I really like it. But anyway, this is Light Fury. So you can see how the wings are a little bit different. How I feel like she had a little fuzz on her. How they are attached down here. Yeah, that looks better. So, little Miss Light Fury, she will also be $45. For her, I use the Walmart brand of Bernat blanket. It's the same thing. Okay, and then my final piece that I want to show you all, and I'm so proud of him. Stitch and Starlight Studios, the one who had the painted eyes for Toothless, they had made this pattern, and I saw it on their Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, I need to make that. So I bought the pattern, and long story about him. I entered him into my local fair. You can see his little hat. I entered him into my local fair, and he didn't win anything. And it's not that I'm mad that he didn't win. I'm more disappointed in the way that the fair, whoever was over it, I'm really disappointed in the way that everything was displayed in the arts building. Because when I was a little girl, I remember going to the fair and going to the arts building, and it's just one building because my fair is really small. There were things on both walls and then an aisle down the middle on both sides. And this year, everything was just on one side. I will try to include some pictures. Also, the category of crochet was just crocheted item. But there was no subcategory for like amigurumi or anything. So I took a chance entering him because I was like, well, you know, probably a blanket will win, which it did. I actually don't agree with the judging. Anyway, with what won, I'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, this is a little clown possum by Red Mills Crochet. And he is just the cutest thing. He is just so precious. I really enjoyed making him, except for his hat and his collar, which I'll get into. So, he is made with Parfait Plush, except for the hat and the collar, because Parfait Plush, at the time, I only had Colors to Make a Possum and the Highland Cow that I showed you all earlier. So I decided, oh, I'm just going to double strand Parfait Chunky and make his little hat and collar. When I tell you, I will never do that again because it hurt my hands so much. But yeah, everybody took a fit over him. He was so cute. He's so cute. And I'm very proud of him. So he will be at my next market for sale. I think I'm going to list him for $60. I mean, he's got, you know, his hat and his collar and everything. It's very detailed. And then he's pretty big. So I don't know what to compare him to. Besides 16.9 fluid ounces, Diet Coke bottle, and Possum. Anyway, he is my pride and joy right now. I love him. He's so cute. But yeah, I was actually really disappointed. So if I can insert some pictures and explain. When you walked in, everything was on the right hand side. Nothing was labeled. So I actually entered the possum, the small Highland cow, and an oil painting that I had done last year. And nothing won. Okay, fine, whatever. But nothing was labeled. Like, yeah, the ones who won had a ribbon on them, but the paintings weren't labeled oil or acrylic. It was behind like not a wall, but a fence kind of thing, so you really couldn't get too close. Okay, fine. I couldn't tell which one was oil, which one was acrylic, you know, what category it was, because there were multiple categories for paintings. There was oil, acrylic, and then they had like a themed category this year. No signage, no nothing. And I was just like, man, this is really sad. So then Mr. Possum here, and my Highland cow, were situated on the bottom shelf. And, okay, fine. All of the blankets, the crocheted blankets, the quilts, the antique quilts that were entered, all of those were folded up. You couldn't see what they looked like. Nothing. I was really disappointed because the one who won Best of Show for crochet was a mosaic tile, Moroccan tile, blanket. Gorgeous from what I could see of it. Like, why? These people are entering their art, their food, their photography, their crochet, their quilting, all of those things that they are so proud of, that they have worked on forever. Because I know how long a blanket takes. I've done tapestry crochet. I've not done a blanket yet, but just from the tapestry that I've done, I know how long a blanket takes. And yet, we are entering our work that we are proud of, and you can't even display it properly. I was so upset with the way everything was displayed. I will say I didn't agree with what got second place. A granny square cardigan got second place. Okay, fine. It looked worn, first of all. There was also a blanket that I can't remember. Is it mosaic? Tunisian crochet? I'm getting all my words mixed up, but it's the one that has like the front and the back, like you're working two sides at once, that kind. It looked really pretty from what I could see of it. I thought that one should have won second place at least. And then another, well, it wasn't a granny square, it was a type of square blanket. Maybe African flower, 1/3. I can't remember. But there wasn't actually that much amigurumi. There was my possum, my cow, a seal, and I think an anatomically correct heart. But then there were some tops, some baby items that were just on the shelf below, like laid flat. Really couldn't see it. Even the food, even like the canned stuff that won, I don't think anything was labeled. Yeah, they had their ribbons on them, but what are they? Like, we take so much pride in doing our hobbies that when we enter them into a competition, we expect them to be displayed properly. Oh, which I didn't even say, for the paintings, there's a local guy who does paintings, and his won first and second place because you could enter 2 items per category. It is won first and second place. Deserved. In all honesty, deserved, because they are absolutely gorgeous. But his best of show piece, the canvas was large. Gosh, I don't even know what size the canvas would be. But it was sitting on the floor. It wasn't even on the shelf. It was on the floor. Like, honestly, if I were him and I saw how that was displayed, I would have been incredibly upset. So, do better, people. Again, like, I don't expect to win. Obviously, I'm biased because do I think I should have won? Yeah, right? But in all reality, there's a lot of competition, and I respect everybody else who crochets, and, you know, it's just the way the items were treated and displayed is what really gets to me. I don't want to leave on a bad note, guys. I don't. I've complained on my soapbox enough for one video. But that's all I have to show you all right now. I did make a list. I'm going to be market prepping throughout the summer. So hopefully I'll have some more videos for you all. And I do plan to vlog my upcoming market at the end of July. I would really like to. I would. My friend who usually sits up with me, she probably won't be there. So it'll just be me solo. Which is fine. I'm going to try to enlist the help of my cousin. So my mom will also be at that market, and my dad. So if I need to go to the bathroom, like, one of them can watch my booth. It's no big deal. Anyway, I do plan to vlog that. I plan to get better at doing stuff like that. So, on that note, hopefully next week I'll have some more items to show you all. Bye.